Hey guys, and welcome to this special episode of the StarBeast Podcast. I'm joined with my special guest, Matthew Brando. How you doing?
I'm all right. How about you, my friend?
Yeah, good. A little bit tired, but ready to rock and roll.
Absolutely.
Aliens. I think you brought a subject up to me over Twitter. You were asking about like my thoughts on the Neill Blomkamp Alien 5 film. You wanted to do a video about it and stuff, and then we thought we'd just get together and have a chat about it. So,
I'm gonna be doing a piece about David. This is when the Blu-rays come out, so I have some time. So I'm writing them right now. Piece called "Dear Ridley, Alien Covenant was brilliant. It's a counter argument against all the hatred, which we can talk about today, and we can talk about Prometheus. And Neill Blomkamp's Alien 5, I'm going to just, I told you before we started recording, I'm going to say this, our friend Baptiste posted to his Facebook a petition to give Blomkamp a chance for Alien 5, and my first comment on his Facebook post is, it was me saying this. I said, "F this petition in the ass, LOL." and then he responds, #Alien3 fan. And then I said #Covenant fan, and then he goes #David never made the Xeno, and then I said #David did #suck it, LOL.
You should have put #David did Newton Hicks are dead.
But yeah, that was our exchange. I don't know where else you want to start off today's conversation.
Well, I think. Okay, I would sign that petition. I'm going to give you my argument for this now. I would sign that petition to say, yes, give him a chance to do an Alien film. Not Alien 5, not Ripley, Hicks, Newton, all that. He deserves to do an Alien film. He 100% does. His other films are littered with homages to those films. Like, he understands that sort of grimy world building that we know and love from Alien, and he knows how to shoot it in a different and interesting way to any of the other directors we've seen in the Alien franchise. I think his style deserves a chapter. However, I don't think a film about Ripley, Hicks, and Newt is the way to do that.
Nope.
Like, just have new characters and just have it set somewhere else.
Yeah.
Like, why retcon 3 and 4 for the sake of, like, causing controversy? Mm-hmm. I was thinking, like, I don't know if they actually did go ahead and make that, I wouldn't go see it at the cinema. I just flat out wouldn't. Because it'd be like, I would be betraying Alien 3. Yeah. And I love Alien 3 to bits. And it's like, I wouldn't feel right for me to go, all right, okay, let's go check that out properly. But if Neill Blomkamp was to do a film that was, an Alien film, that didn't have anything to do with retconning any of the other films and fit perfectly in somewhere in the timeline, then I would be running to the theatre and buying several tickets.
Yeah.
Because I've got to see this film loads and loads. It's just I just don't understand why he must know that there's this huge fan base who even loves Resurrection, let alone Alien 3 and all the, the cult followers of that film. So it's like Alien Resurrection has a cult following.
Yeah.
People love it. And I love it for different reasons. I don't think it's a good Alien film.
Yeah.
But, it's a great sci-fi comedy romp, horror. I think it's almost like Independence Day 2. It's like that kind of thing. It's like that sort of level of 90s cheese. And I'll take that for what it is.
Yeah.
But it's a terrible film. But that said, I would never want to retcon it from the series.
No.
Because I think there's people that love. Same for AVP and AVP2, because the only way those films aren't canon really is because of Charles Bishop Wayland and Peter Wayland. Peter Wayland is the creator of the Wayland company. So Charles Bishop Wayland. However, I think it's called Wayland Industries in AVP and Wayland. It is Wayland Industries in Prometheus and Wayland Yutani in.
Yeah, they added the Yutani, I think, in the rec. I only saw Requiem once.
It's Wayland Corp in AVP, and it's a Wayland Industries in Prometheus. So one could say, if they really wanted to, that if they really love those films and they want them canon with the whole thing, then what they can say is that Peter Weyland is a relative of Charles Bishop Weyland, and that's it. And then they can be canon. That's like that. If you want to do that, you can. No one's going to stop you. I wouldn't want anyone to go back and retcon AVP, like an AVP2, just because of the sake of it. As much as I hate those films, because I don't even own them. I hate those films too.
I don't own them either.
But I wouldn't want to see that, because, there are people out there who don't like Aliens. So would some of them want to see that retconned?
I feel like they almost, in a way, they're so pissed off at Covenant and Prometheus. Oh my god, I hate that movie so much. Like, because all they do is because they love Aliens so much, and they want to fucking stop Ridley from making. They want to see, like, they want a backlash and see it.
It's not even that though. It's like they don't just complain about that. I've seen complaints about how with David creating the alien, it dilutes the mystery behind the alien.
Oh my god, I hate that argument so much.
And it doesn't, because it makes the alien an entity that shouldn't exist at all.
Not
because
just
the engineers know that David shouldn't exist. We saw that quite clearly at the end of Prometheus.
Yeah.
And David makes the alien, so the alien really shouldn't exist. And it's like, and then it becomes completely unpredictable. Whereas if it was like they wrote it as in it was, a monster just found in the deepest, darkest depths of space, that's it. It's going to be a monster, and it'll be unpredictable, but for the sake of it, rather than actually having a tangible story reason for it to be unpredictable.
Yeah.
And be alien, so.
Yeah, everyone's got the argument that, oh my god, the space jockey was fossilized. I mean, he was making an assumption. I think it was Kane that said it.
He was, but I wouldn't put it past Ridley to do something with that.
Yeah, change it.
Yeah, because Ridley stated and Ridley says a lot of things in interviews.
Dude, he does. I want to cut you off. I want to cut you off for this, because I remember he said, like, randomly out of the blue for Blade Runner, he's like, "Oh yeah, Deckard is a synthetic." I was like, "Wait," everyone's like, "Yeah, Deckard is because Ridley Scott said it." I'm like, "Dude, I'm pretty sure Ridley's fucking with you, but okay, believe it." Anyway, go ahead. Yeah,
but one of the things Ridley did say that he was talking about, I can't remember which interview, so apologies for anyone listening. But he said something along the lines of, the engineers made the alien, but why? What did they make the alien for, and who was it against? And he says in the interview something that it's not the humans. And you're like, okay, so he's directly aware of there should be something that why the engineers were playing around with this stuff to begin with as a weapon, and it might not necessarily be just to do with Earth. It might be to do with something else that we haven't seen yet. Whether that is the space jockey, that fossilized giant creature that everyone bangs on about wanting so much, then it might just be. But until we see that, unless it's completely ruled out in the next film and then directly links into Alien, then, we'll have to wait and see. But again, it's like, I think there's interesting things to glean from both origins of the alien, no matter what they threw up on the screen. It was always going to be interesting.
I mean, I personally like seeing the mythos being explored and expanded. Everyone says that, oh, you're taking away the mystery of the alien. Well, there really isn't a mystery. You already had a face to the creator, assumably that...
We also had a face to the alien. We'd seen it a lot.
Not just that, but the face of the creator of the alien. Like, oh yeah, the space jockey did it. Oh, I don't like how David is the creator now. I was supposed to be the space jockey. Do people understand that there's going to be at least 2 more sequels that he wants, and possibly he said up to 5 or 6? I'm like, fuck yeah, I want to see 5 or 6 Ridley Scott Alien films.
Well, I think that was one of the things that Ridley Scott said, that there was like a more of a throwaway thing.
Maybe.
I feel like if I had to hazard a guess, I think he has one more film in him.
I'm just gonna Awakening.
What's that? Yeah. No, I think for him to direct the story, there might be another one that he passes on to someone else. Neill Blomkamp, do it.
Yeah, or somebody else.
Yeah, I'm just going to invite my friend Ross into the conversation.
Oh, right,
because he's online, and Ross, with this conversation especially, Ross actually hated Prometheus.
Ooh.
But he loved it after seeing Covenant.
Nice. That's an interesting take.
Yeah, we've got to talk to him. Oh, man, I'm glad he's online now. He just started calling me while we were talking, and I was like, oh, shit. Get him in. He's my other host.
Hey, why not, eh?
All right. Let's see if he's online.
StarBeast it up.
Yeah, let's see. Is he going to pick up? Is he there?
It looks like he is.
Ross.
Yo.
You're live in the middle of a StarBeast podcast with me and Matthew Brando.
Excellent. How's it going, guys?
What's up?
Very good. Very good. We're discussing Neill Blomkamp's Alien 5 film.
Hang on, I'm not entirely sure what the hell is going on with the internet. This is a ridiculous thing. All right, okay. I'm going to keep this brief, and then that way, hopefully, it won't get cut off.
Yeah.
All right. So basically, yeah, like I thought it was. To be honest, I thought it was unnecessary.
Right.
Like, I think he. Yeah, he
got cut off.
Yeah, you got cut off.
Damn it. Hold on. I don't know what the fuck this is. What this bullshit is.
What are you downloading?
Come on.
What are you doing? Get it together.
What are you downloading? Stop it.
Stop bootlegging.
I think the internet is working better when
Yeah.
you're Donald.
We should just. What, Ross? What did you think of the Alien Covenant? What do you think of the Neill Blomkamp? We need your answer.
No.
I need your answer. Yeah, so like I'm just gonna say, like, because I wasn't gonna be on call for very long anyway, because I got to go to bed in a bit because I got work tomorrow.
Right.
But to sum it up briefly, like it seemed unnecessary to me that it would be made in his particular vision. I think like it's a bold move, even if the films are crap. It's a bold move to go ahead and just retcon stuff, like you know, even though like. Like Alien Resurrection, I think it's still a bit of it's still a ballsy move to go ahead and just like completely discount two films that other people might.
Yeah.
Is to be told in this universe, you don't have to follow fucking Hicks and Ripley at every fucking turn.
Yes.
But yeah, so like it's unnecessary, like to just be following them in particular. Like I know people love them, but you don't need to see them every fucking step of the way. And also, I think.
Damn.
Yeah.
I think he's an amazing director and he's an amazing visionary. But like, I think at the same time, it felt too much like a fan film.
It is
like that's the intense vibe I got from it, is that it was just like a fan film, but it happened to be made by a fan who was a major director. You know, like I think he has like the vision and the scope and the detail and like kind of, you know, to pull off an Alien film. But I just don't think that Alien 5 would have been. I don't know. It may well have been really good, but I don't know if it would have like sort of. It probably would have been a case of it feeling like an amazing amazing sci-fi film, but maybe not such a great Alien film.
Well, the only thing I can glean from it, like with having Ripley, Hicks, and Newt back, the only positive I can glean from that is if the film had turned out to be really crap, everyone would then start saying Alien 3 was really good.
There you go. We finally killed him.
It's like, now you're liking this film, are you? You like the sort of style of this film and how dark it is.
So maybe we do need it to happen.
Yeah. It might be a blessing in disguise. Yeah. No, man. Jeez. We were just talking about David being the creator of the Alien and all the controversy around that, like removing mystery from the Alien because we now know where it comes from, according to Ridley Scott and co. But there's interesting like sort of details to glean from the Alien Covenant novelization, where it specifically states that David, that egg that you see, which is all like sliced in sections in his lab or in his little like place where he's building stuff, that is an original alien egg that was found on that planet by David, that had been made by the engineers, or at least been discovered by the engineers. And they make a point of it in the novelization.
What?
Yeah, that's fact for you right there. Not only that. There's the line where in Covenant where David gets the quote wrong.
Yes.
So whether it's revealed later in the next film that David is gloating about creating the alien, and then the engineers basically go slap him down and say, "No, we created it. You copied us. Stop lying and stop getting things wrong."
Yeah, because he's not. His DNA is not to create, so to do that, to revolt, he creates, but can he really?
Makes mistakes. Yeah, well, he makes mistakes and he hates imperfection. Yeah. That's why he loves the aliens so much, and he hates humans, and he sees himself as an omnipotent being because he can't die. Yeah. So I have a feeling that the people who complain about David being the creator of the alien. I don't know if we've fully got the whole story with that yet, but at the same time, like I said earlier on in this podcast, which Ross, you weren't here to listen to yet. But I basically said that it doesn't really remove any mystery because the alien's still this entity that shouldn't exist, and we don't know what it's going to do. In both scenarios, it's unpredictable. So that's pretty much it. My thoughts. I don't know about you guys.
I'll let Ross go. He says he's going to go to bed soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't actually hear what's going on very well, so I might have to fucking go. Sorry, guys. I'm getting 30 seconds of really interesting conversation, then fucking nothing, and then I'm just like, shit. Can I piece it back together from what I just heard?
All right, man.
It's really annoying. So really,
well, if you're still about later, I might see if you're about. I'll give you a call later, or you can watch me live stream. I might be live streaming later, so
yeah, I'll do that.
Chime in.
Yeah, next time there's another.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, man.
Awesome. Cheers, guys. Thank you. I'll speak to you later. No, take it easy. Bye.
Short but sweet little cameo there from other host Ross Lane. But Matt, what are your thoughts?
Now I have to get it repeated because I pretty much agree with you. It's actually. Did you get that from? You said the novelization where David possibly stole the idea, or didn't really create it, and the egg was from the engineers.
Yeah, he essentially copied it. But obviously, in the film, it's stated quite matter of factly that David is the creator of the alien. Yeah. It's like they almost removed that line to change it from the old idea to the new one. Again, like I said a minute ago, it doesn't really remove anything because they're both unpredictable. So, but we might learn in the next film that he did copy it, and I don't know if it would directly link back to that egg that we see, but that egg originally on the set was meant to be that exact thing in the novelization. And obviously, they don't draw attention. He picks it up, doesn't he? He picks a section of it up in the film and moves it when he's talking about creating the alien. Yes. So I don't know if they're alluding to that or if it's just they're saying that he made that one on the table.
I don't know. I would like it and hate it at the same time. I would like it because it makes his character more complex, but I would hate it because it would make him weaker, and you would also kind of be listening to the current hate that the film is getting from some of the fans.
But then again, it was written before the film came out because it was in the novelization.
But it's just like...
So they had that idea to begin with. It's just they changed it, and whether they change it back, it'd be up to them. I mean, as long as I'm in the camp, if the film is good, then they can do whatever they want with the story. Yeah. As long as it doesn't really mess things up. As long as they don't clone a character back after 200 years and make her a superhero. Mm-hmm. If they don't do anything like that, where she jumps across a 12-foot precipice,
shoots basketballs backwards,
bleeds acid. Just saying, if they don't do anything like that, or have some Milky Bar monster standing around with his pot belly, I'll be more happy. But again, it's interesting. What other things from Alien Covenant did you hear people complain about?
Oh man, where do I begin? How about something that I really, because I just saw it, I don't think we said this yet for the people listening, but we talked earlier before we started recording, was I just saw the film yesterday for the 4th time. How many times did you see it? 3?
3, yeah.
Okay, so I saw...
But I saw 2 scenes at Alien Day as well at the cinema.
What the hell was I going to say? I forget. Oh, yeah. So saw the 4th time. Possibly we'll see it the 5th. But something I was going in because I already have like my counter argument video written just as a rough draft. I wanted to like really watch, and a lot of the negativity was just swarming in my head, and try not to let it affect me at all. And it mostly didn't. And actually it helped to solidify my argument even more. And I can't wait for the 4K Blu-ray to come out so I can watch it more and finish that video and release it. That the notion of oh my God, the people there are so stupid. I'm like, no, they're kind of like regular ass human beings. Like, they're panicking. They're not making rational decisions. Like, I'm just about to, when I'm possibly wrapped up with you, do a Transformers 5, the last night review. And in those Transformers films, you have like our protagonist is just like a regular ass Joe, like Shia LaBeouf or Mark Wahlberg. And then all of a sudden, like throughout the film, they're just fighting like across from like these 50-foot, 7-ton or whatever, like robots. Like, where the fuck did this come out of? I would rather watch a film with real human beings like Alien, and yes, Alien Covenant. There's mirror images here of the people in Covenant and the people in Alien, because they're everyday Joes. They're just people doing their jobs.
They make like, just while you're on this point, like they make David and Walter fight in a very almost superhero actiony type of way. They're throwing each other around, but it's more believable when you know that they are robots.
Absolutely.
They're not, like, it makes so much more sense, and they don't really do anything that's actually too outlandish.
No,
as characters, like they use fighting styles with the chopped
it's great.
I was watching a behind the scenes video where they were talking about learning a sort of fighting move. I can't remember what it was. It wasn't, I don't know if it was judo or something, but it was like, you can always imagine the robots had this preset defense mechanism that was a really efficient one.
Yeah.
So it sells you that idea way more than like seeing Mark Wahlberg suddenly just become like a superhero. Even though
he's a dude with like biceps bigger than his head, and he's supposed to be an engineer, and like he shoots perfectly with a gun. It's like, where the fuck did this come out of? Like, I would rather watch people like Covenant like struggle than see and see like a realistic grounded film than see like this over the top like Transformers type movie. But I don't know.
It's all about how they sell that concept and idea to you in the film. I think, not to go on too much of a tangent about Transformers, and bear in mind I haven't seen the new one. But like the world building in the Transformers films is the humans are always, right from the first film, been these really over the top, exaggerated, outlandish, cartoony people.
Yeah,
like they all speak really loudly above each other. Like there's no like almost a lack of confidence with any of the characters. They'll always say what they're thinking in the situation, and it's like that's part of the world building. But whether you like it or hate it, Michael Bay has added into those movies with the writers and stuff. So yeah, it's like that is what it is. Whereas in the Alien universe, it's grounded in more reality.
Hell, you can even say the same thing, almost not obviously as much of a caricature as Transformers, but it's almost just like the same thing in Aliens. They're just, hey man, what are we doing, man? Hey bro, don't do that with the knife, man. It's just like they're just stupid people.
Yeah. I don't know. Aliens is more tailored towards, I don't know how to put this, because I believe in the Aliens characters wholly. Like I take them for what they are, but mainly because there's no other Alien films where they really do that, because then that makes them more unique and they feel more like a little group of people who do act like that around each other. They like shitball with each other all the time, like the Marines and stuff. So I kind of buy them more. Whereas if we met a new group of characters in the Alien universe who are just like that and they're Marines and stuff, I'd be like, yeah, now you've lost me. Because I don't believe the Marines would be all like that. I can believe that one group, they have their personalities, but this one doing exactly the same sort of things, no, just not at all. And that's with the Transformers films. That's why I can't get into the human characters at all, because they all seem the same.
Yeah.
You know,
that's the thing I wanted to talk about, Russ. Before he had an early depart with the Blomkamp thing, tying it back to Blomkamp.
They cut the power. How did they cut the power, man? They're animals. Where's Ross?
What the hell was I gonna say? I forgot now. Is that a funny joke? It was something about Blomkamp. Oh, okay. So Blomkamp, all he wanted to do was just fan service for one movie. He wanted to do one and done. He wanted to, that's why I was messaging you. He was like, hey man, how much do you know about the Blomkamp idea? And then, he just wants to do Newton Hicks and Ripley, and then like Ripley wears some kind of like xenomorph, like weaponized costume. I feel like you agree with me on this. It's just rehashing. It's more of the same.
Oh, well, it's, as far as we know, it's more of the same because that's all he's shown us.
Yeah.
Like, had he shown us something that is actually different, then I might start to be a bit more on board. There was that picture of Ripley wearing that, like, alien head gas mask suit thing. All on board, except for who's in that thing.
Yeah, that's true.
All on board for that alien mask, like, whatever that thing is. It looks like a space jockey suit, but mixed with the alien. It looks cool.
It does.
I'm looking at it right now. It looks awesome. But Ripley's face in it is really, that doesn't sit right.
Okay, there's two things. One, I would say, is throw Amanda in there. Two, instead of Ellen. Two, you gotta take it for what it is. All it is cool concept art.
Yeah,
you can print it out, throw it on your wall. It's cool, but in a context of a film, this might not work. We just discussed Jurassic World stuff, and I think this a lot that we have some haters of Jurassic World. You and I are not them because we love the film, and it did different stuff while still being a Jurassic Park film and being within the universe and franchise. This film. Blomkamps 5, and that's what I was messaging you about. Like, hey, is there going to be trained xenomorphs? I've been hearing about trained xenomorphs.
No, there was a fan did some concept art of like aliens wearing almost like VR headsets and a guy walking out of an APC with like this radio controlled thing that went online, and everyone assumed it was for the Neill Blomkamp film, but it's just, as far as I'm aware, it's just fan art. But I've sent you a link to it in the chat.
Okay.
I was looking at it right now because I looked up Alien 5 concept art and it's one of the first images, even though it's not anything to do with, unless it was based on like early rumors or ideas, I don't know. But, I
see it. That looks cool, but then again, it's just the same thing. It's cool. It's art. I don't think it really should be in a film.
It's concept art, so it's concept art. So it's just a concept being thrown up to be like to induce an idea.
Yeah. And then
the one. Oh, sorry. I was just going to quickly say I'm looking at more, and the one that really jumped out at me and pissed me off. Right. If I have to be honest, there's one of like in an elevator with Ripley and Hicks has got a shotgun in the background. Of course he has. He's got a scar on his face.
Yes.
Right. Obviously. So obviously this is set after Aliens because he got burned. And then Ripley is stood there with a bomb jacket on.
Yes.
Like looking like she's about to go sacrifice herself in a hive or something.
Yeah. She has
the concept is, you don't know what they're looking at. They could be going into a human-based blah. But the point is that it looks like she's willing to sacrifice her life to save humanity. Isn't that what we got in Alien 3?
Yep.
Hasn't that idea already been done? So that was the one that really got to me because it was like I think I could be sold more on I don't know. No, I couldn't. Sorry, I'm just not doing my own thing. I was about to start talking about how I thought Hudson could be alive, but then I realised because the nuclear bomb went off.
Yes,
he did. Yeah.
The one that irks me is the Queen. Apparently, I've heard that this is more, I guess, real than the trained xenomorphs thing. Is that this Queen is, I guess, like she has a playground and she's in captivity for this Alien 5, and that's the picture with the little bridge and shit that she has.
Yeah, I'm looking at that right now.
Yeah, apparently that's what I've heard.
It's a cool image.
Once again, yeah, it's cool. But like an alien queen in captivity. I remember when people complained about the xenomorphs in cages for Alien Resurrection, and that didn't go over too well with almost everybody. So what in the blue hell do people think just because this movie has Newton Hicks in it that alien queen in captivity is a good idea?
It's because they don't like the idea of facing the grim reality that Ripley had to face in Alien 3. That's literally the only reason. I don't understand to blow my own trumpet too much here, but that's the only reason I can really think of why people would want Newton Hicks back, because they feel like it's a disservice to kill them off. But that was the whole plot of Alien 3 is about loss and Ripley having to face that. So I don't know how else you could do that without actually killing them off. So, and I think the funeral scene, I see so many people say that that's one of the most, one of the greatest scenes in the franchise, especially on AVP Galaxy. I see a lot of people say that it's edited amazingly, which it is. Even the dog one probably a little bit more so than the Ox cut, but I don't care. They're both the same to me.
I think the Ox is awesome.
Yeah. But like the editing in that scene's fantastic. That scene is all about Newton Hicks. That is Ripley saying goodbye to those characters. So if that scene, which is widely regarded as one of the greatest scenes in the franchise, is a disservice to Newton Hicks dying, I don't know what they would want for the characters. I don't know what they wanted.
I don't know. It's bullshit, because like if I'm looking at the Queen for a concept art for Alien 5 Blomkamp, and Ripley already fought a queen and she won in Aliens. There's no reason to retread this. All it is just, it's just like, almost like a remake of Aliens. It's not so much a sequel.
Yeah. Well, the playground thing that the Queen is in, like, isn't there this Alien 3 script, William Gibson, where there's like these gardens on a space station and there's like aliens running around in there and there's two queens. One of those early.
I don't know. This is like Gibson's.
This is like, there's two drafts of William Gibson, and one of them there's like a garden, like two like biospheres that are inside this space station, and there's a whole chase sequence through a jungle or something with like one of the Queen aliens. So whether that sort of concept has sort of fizzled through and got into the hands of Neill Blomkamp, and that's what we're seeing in that concept art, is like his like heard of this. Because the only reason I say this is because in that same script there's a black goo that if people become infected and become aliens, and like aliens burst out of people's bodies, much like neomorphs.
Right.
but full-sized aliens, not little ones. They're like the people's skin all falls off, and then these aliens.
Yes, that was in. I think that was in Gibson's. They kind of like, because it was it was Hicks, and Hicks had like a couple of Marines, and it was some kind of like, because what the hell were they doing? I forget, but they're doing, there's like a secret base, like a basement underneath like the whole space station that scientists were doing experiments on xenos, or somehow got a hold of them. Yeah. And then somehow like a pathogen or some shit got loose, or they purposely did, I forget. But yeah, they literally like transformed themselves. Like, I don't think they burst at all. It's almost like a five-field thing. They kind of just transformed themselves into a xeno.
So I like with all that sort of stuff, I feel like that Fox has this like pile of ideas that they've been holding on to for ages, probably even since the first and second Alien films, where they were like, with these concepts would be kick-ass to do, but we any ones we don't do we'll save, and then any new film we get, we can throw these ideas at the writers and directors. So like, for example, the black goo thing, is in the early Alien-3 scripts, and now we're seeing it in Prometheus. The trained aliens or the captured aliens the scientists are working on in that same William Gibson script. You can see that in Alien Resurrection. There's a scene in that script as well where like loads of chest bursters burst out of someone, like a whole like 5 or 6 of them. And obviously in ABP2, that's what the Pred Alien does, quite grotesquely and hideously. And oh God, but yeah. So like, I have a feeling like with this, when I saw that garden with that Queen Alien, that just instantly brought my attention to that. I was like, would that be that then? Like this biosphere that they're in? Because I'd like that. But now you're saying it's like a Queen could have been captured and that's like a playground. I'm like, oh yeah, that'd be, oh no.
I would like to see more of Vincent Ward's like Wooden Planet type deal, or at least the imagery of like the wheat fields that they had. And like the wheat fields end up catching fire. That would have been such a great like couple scenes somehow to have.
See, I was just going to say, like, aside from Fury 161 not being a wooden planet, Alien 3 pretty much is his script.
Yeah, mostly is. I did want to see that monk getting like deboweled or whatever. He's on the
God, yeah.
That like there's some really great things in there, but yeah, it mostly is. They kind of just took that and then they took the Prisoner's script and kind of just put it into one. And honestly, I think
it's even like the what was it? Like Ripley having dreams. There's all these weird concept of like people's faces in a sheep's ass and stuff. Like, all that stuff. But even in Alien 3, she hallucinates. She sees the alien instead of a pipe.
Yes.
Like they kept that idea, still managed to get into the film. And I think in a much more believable way in the franchise rather than someone's face coming out of a sheep's butt.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
So I feel like some of these ideas and concepts, they do filter through and they do make an impact. So whether Neill Blomkamp's version would be something really interesting, I guess we'll never know. But if they did go ahead with getting him to do an Alien film, like if he got to do Alien Awakening, I'd be like, hell yeah, give him the reins. Let's see sort of like a new style, because I mean, even Ridley Scott's kind of done that with Prometheus and Alien Covenant. They both, like, they're visually connected in parts, but at the same time, they both have different feelings and different atmospheres. And it kind of fits with that tradition with the Alien films all doing that.
Actually, the very first thing you answered was like, I would like to see a Blomkamp Alien film as long as it ain't Alien 5. Maybe if it is like an Alien Awakening. You know what? I don't know. Because Russ kind of answered it a little bit, but he had to leave. I honestly would not mind seeing an Alien 5. However, I'm going to say this in my own video. I want you to wait, Neil. I want you to wait until Ridley continues and finishes the 2 to whatever, 6 more, whatever he says. Whatever he wants to do. The guy's 79 or 80 years old. Let him make his movies in 10 years or whatever, how much life he has left. Hopefully he has a lot of life left. And he finishes his Alien prequels.
I heard Ridley Scott's planning a trip to some far-off planet to go meet his maker because he needs to get more life to make more Alien films.
That'd be great.
He is Peter Weyland.
He is Peter Weyland. I just want Neil to wait. I am really enjoying what Ridley's putting out. The Martian was great. Exodus, not so much, but I mean, the guy is familiar. Oh, wait, hold on. You liked Exodus?
No, I haven't seen Exodus. I was going to say, when you next watch The Martian, view it as the prequel to Prometheus.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Not as directly, not, how do I put this?
Does Peter Weyland shuttle land?
No, it's not necessarily connected directly, but Ridley Scott has put a lot of Easter eggs in there that means you could very easily slot it into the universe of Alien.
No way! Now I gotta watch it again.
So that's okay. Let me lay this out for you, right? So this is like my twister in the JP universe that I go on about all the time. But I put The Martian in the same universe as Alien, and here's why. One, in NASA's headquarters, the main guy, what's his face from Dumb and Dumber?
Jeff Daniels. He's from Detroit.
Jeff Daniels, yeah, legendary actor. Got his name though. In the office is the planet, a painting of the planet with the ring around it that is LV-426.
Really?
Has the moons all there. That's in the film.
Huh.
2, the suits that the astronauts wear look like precursors to what they wear in Prometheus. 3, the Chinese make a deal with the Americans to use their new engines that are a prototype, and they obviously work getting people to planets very quickly compared to old methods.
Yeah.
4.
4, yeah.
4. Matt Damon's character, forget it because I haven't seen The Martian in a few months.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, what's his name? Oh, yeah, it's not Stevens.
Yeah, what is his name? It's something like...
Yeah, I need to watch it
popular.
again.
I'll just Google. I'll Google it right now.
I forgot his name, but I remember these details because it's linked to Alien.
His name is... It's loading.
Jump up.
Mark Watney.
Watney, that's it.
Watney,
or
yeah,
Stevens.
Watney.
Where did I get Stevens from? Watney, that's it. Mark Watney. Anyway, he learns to cultivate vegetables on Mars. Now, what was the first planet colonized by the Wayland Company?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Mars because the extended cut had Peter Wayland watching the Shaw message.
Mm-hmm. So basically, you could look at The Martian. Bear in mind that the title of the film is called The Martian, which is another name for the alien. Right? It's all about how Earth discovered to get through space really quickly and begin the colonization of other planets. As far as I can tell from memory, no actors contradict any of the Alien films either. Yes, they do. Benedict Wong, he's in Prometheus and he's in The Martian.
Yes.
But anyway, point is, I consider Martian canon. I just do. It's so perfect to be a precursor to the space travel that we see in the Alien universe. So there you go.
That's pretty excellent. I was going to say Benedict Wong quote. It was like his last words. No, it wasn't Benedict Wong, was it? It was said, with all due respect, Captain, you're a shitty pilot, and you're going to need all the help you can get.
Yeah.
if this means the bet's off, you're wrong.
Why don't you pay me on the other side?
Yeah, that is him. Yeah, he just had a different hairstyle, from what I remember. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
that's great. Heads up!
Yeah, I think Benedict Wong was a little bit chunkier in The Martian as well.
Yeah.
So you could glean that he was a relative, maybe, of Benedict Wong's character in Prometheus. So yeah, I think Ridley Scott's been doing some fantastic stuff recently.
Absolutely.
There's some other things in The Martian I'm forgetting that link it to Alien. There's a couple of others.
I'm definitely gonna check that out. Maybe it was pretty much a perfect film. I couldn't find any problems with it. It was amazing.
Yeah, it was a really nice feel-good movie. Even though it was had times of struggle.
Yeah, sure did.
What was I going to say?
What was it before we went on the Martian?
I was trying to think, what do you think about the complaints in Covenant about the alien being handled the way it was? Like how a lot of people say it felt like it was shoehorned in at the last.
I don't think it was shoehorned.
The last act, and then the whole fourth act on the spaceship in the orbit is like they kill the alien really quickly, and it's like it just feels like they just paint by numbers aliens is why.
Yeah, I don't see that at all. I do hope that I haven't read the novelization yet, but I did read the art book. I'm in the process of reading the official. I'm looking at it right now, the official collector's edition. It's like a hardback, but it's almost like a magazine. I don't know if there's more footage cut out of that third act battle. I feel like there possibly is.
Well, we know that the alien jumping from wall to wall in the red corridor was cut, which I will say is a shame because that was one of my favorite shots from the trailers. I was like, holy shit.
I think I know where it was cut too. I think it was cut when they, there's like a shot of them, Tennessee and Daniels leaving, and there's like a shot of the doors closing and then like another door opening. I think there's like, it was one of those, and I think it was traveling from like a one end of the hall to the other, and I think it was cut for some reason there.
I think that was meant to be because they were asking Walter, who they thought was Walter, to close the doors to push it to where they needed it to go, kind of like Alien-3.
Yeah.
And that scene where it's jumping from wall to wall was going to be like, there was a shot of the door closing, and it was jumping towards the door, and then the door closed just in time.
I think there's also more cut because I'm assuming you've seen it. It's like a viral like campaign video. It's called "She Won't Go Quietly." It's
which I found to be quite strange feeling because it's like Mother was talking to her like like she had some sass to her.
It's roughly a minute long. If people don't know what we're talking about, it's like it's literally like deleted footage, extended scenes of them decompressing from what happened. It's like Walter, David, her, and Tennessee, and then all of a sudden like it goes quiet, and then like there's the xenomorph on board, and then she grabs a gun, and then she looks up. It's like a tilt up, and then the fucking xenomorph comes down into frame, and it cuts to black or whatever. And I'm like, what is that?
That I think that's just promotional. That was like, I feel like they wanted to make like a trailer on set. That's the feeling I get. I don't think that was actually for the actual film. Mainly like, because Danny, like she's running around on her own. Danny McBride's not anywhere when they're meant to be together.
Yes.
Like he's to be there. So
yeah, it might be.
Yeah, but that's just my feeling. Whether it was, and they're very clever at editing, and it's like actual footage from the film that they've sort of doctored to make this thing, then I'll hold my hands up and say, yeah, then you got me, guys, because that was really good.
Yeah.
But I at the moment, I feel like that was just made for promotional materials more than actually stuff from the film.
See, I don't know, because I feel like that could be in the film, but cut. The crossing, which was like more Shaw and more
David. The crossing was in the film.
Okay,
it was the whole thing with Shaw and everything was in the film.
Was that as a prologue, or was that as like
no, it was
included?
It was when David was talking about them arriving on the planet. So the whole genocide scene in the film, it was all linked to that bit.
Okay.
It's going to be this, like,
and then also there's the Last Supper prologue, and I don't know.
That was filmed as a viral. So that was actually made as a viral video, whereas The Crossing is the only one out of all of these that we know for sure was a scene in the film that was cut and then used as a viral video.
See, I like it that it was cut because we don't know anything about Shaw until you see her dead on the table and it just smacks you in the face rather than seeing Shaw patch him up and stuff. And I really liked how, and within the context,
it leaves it more ambiguous, doesn't it? Really,
that reason, and within the context of the story and the film itself, David feeding you this information, and you don't know if David is lying or not, and he ends up lying. It's so great. It adds more complexity to the story rather than you see Shaw and she's fine and stuff, and then maybe David is a good guy, but he really isn't. So having that,
and I think the crashed ship is evidence enough that Shaw woke up or discovered David destroying the engineers. I just and it went wrong. There's also talks of, and I don't know if it's from the novelization because I haven't read the novelization, but I've been reading like people talking about it and stuff, and I do want to get it to read it. Because just on a side note, one of the reasons I want to read it is because Alan Dean Foster, who wrote the Alien, Aliens, and Alien-3 novelizations, and he hasn't done one since Alien-3.
Cool.
So I really want to give this a read because those other books, if you haven't read them, they're amazing.
I want to.
Oh, you should. The Alien-3 one is different to the cuts you see on screen.
Ooh.
It's like a whole other version. It's really good.
Yeah, I have the novelization, but I haven't touched it yet.
Yeah. But in the novelization, like, I think, and I could be wrong, if anyone's listening, they're probably going to kick me for this if I get this wrong, but I feel like the engineers fought back against the ship and that's what made it crash. They, like, I don't know if they had artillery or whatever, but they fired back. There's evidence for this in Covenant, because as they're taking off with the what's it called, the lander thing, like the loader with that, the flatbed thing that
cargo lift, I think it's called.
Yeah, when they're leaving the planet, you know, there's that
the cargo
massive lift. Yeah, that's it. You know, the big they're calling it the mother juggernaut or the scorpion naut or whatever they're calling it, that thing that docks with the ship when David and Shaw arrive to the planet.
Yes. Okay. I thought you were talking about the humans leaving the xenomorph attached.
No, that huge ship thing that it docks with. There's that is crashed and lying in the side of a mountain in the background when they're taking off. So you can assume that they attacked them while they were there, or Shaw woke up and tried to crash the ship, or both happened at the same time. So you don't need to see putting the head on, because it makes it way more ambiguous and almost like terrifying not to see all that, to just see her dead, see all this destruction, and you go, okay, something definitely went wrong during David, during David destroying the aliens, because why would the Scorpion Naut or the Mother Juggernaut, whatever you want to call it, why would that thing be destroyed if, like, it happened later when they flew away or whatever happened over that part of the city? So
you don't need to see that at all, because the way it's cut together is it's so beautiful. I think this is my one friend. He says that he actually like hates like all like the romantic poems and like all the artsy stuff, even though I fucking love that stuff, especially in Prometheus with the chopping raindrops, and it all ties in together. That's what actually takes these prequels for me from good to great. It adds on this layer of beauty, and for that Covenant flashback whole like minute 30 or whatever, 2 minutes, however long it is, it starts off with David in the garden. He starts off with, "Look at my works, ye mighty and despair," and then it ends with him like that dolly in or tracking shot into his face crying, and then the same romantic poem, and it echoes as a voiceover. And it's so beautiful, number one. And number two, if you include that information, which we don't need, of how they crashed, of the engineers attacking the ship, it's just gonna end with the ship crashing down, or end up with the ship crashing down and David stepping out, or with Shaw stepping out, which isn't as impactful or interesting.
No. So I mean, you've gleaned all the information you need from what he said happened, or what we see, what we're allowed to see.
Ending it on his face, crying, the wind blowing his hair, with the voiceover it gives me chills. I can't wait. Even though how the whole thing starts with him saying the poem with the little flower and Walter's behind him in the garden, he's barefoot and shit, all great stuff. And then it starts off, you're like, what the hell is he talking about? And all of a sudden, like in the theater, just like the speakers just go crazy. And then you see like them coming out of Hyper's drive or whatever.
Oh, can I just add a note here that I love the fact that they included the same sort of roaring noise for when it slows down out of warp or whatever.
Yeah.
Which is the same sound as the ship starting up in Prometheus, you know, where Shaw's getting blown up that tunnel. It's like that noise or whatever. It's like this little aesthetic noise that is like the sound of those ships. And when you watch Alien and you know that ship could make that noise, I don't know, it just adds this like sort of kind of little detail that makes me really like love the design of these movies.
That's all Ridley Scott.
And it's him and like whoever saying like, oh, we've got to include that because that's the detail that, you know, links. That's a part of that ship's character, essentially. I just love that little detail in that bit, because whenever that scene came in and it like they come through the clouds over the planet and that noise echoes throughout the sky, it just sends chills down my spine.
I bet you it's Ridley.
Sounds so terrifying.
I bet you it's Ridley, because that guy is so hands-on and he has his stamp on everything, and he's pretty much a genius. I'm pretty sure he's the one. He's like, oh, we have to include that over here.
Yeah. Yeah.
You were going to say something, though.
I can't remember. I was just talking about the sound. You were saying something about them arriving at the planet and how great that was.
Yeah, it's all the information is right there, and I talk about this in my video. People are complaining like, "Oh, I want to see more of Shaw," though. Like, the movie. First of all, it's David's movie. Second of all,
David's trilogy. I think that's what I'm gleaming.
And yes, Shaw was a great character, but the franchise has been about the alien.
Mm-hmm.
And how dangerous these are, and how you could die any second. And I'm assuming these are probably the same people complaining about Alien 3 killing off Newton Hicks and, oh my god, I want Shaw. But
it's a film. That film's about Ripley more than the alien. And it's
exactly. What purpose does this character serve the story? And people like just fail to realize that, and they rather just attach themselves to something and get
where Alien is like the birth of the franchise, quite literally and figuratively. Like, Aliens is a film about the aliens and their life. Mm-hmm. Like, okay, so I did this in my old channel. I said Alien is about birth. The whole film's about birth. It's it's got one of the most famous birth scenes ever put to film in it.
Yeah.
And it gave birth to the franchise, to the idea of this alien, and careers of people. And the whole film was like surrounded by it. You can even look at Mother. The computer is this lovely, warm womb type area. It even has like a breathing sound of like, every you're in there. And then you can look at the space jockey as like a dead fetus in a womb, because you're in this. They call it a womb in the making of documentaries. I'm not just adding that for pretentious
own terminology.
Yeah, it's all symbolism, like, and to tap into the fear of giving birth and all that sort of stuff, the horrors of life. But where Alien is all about birth, Aliens is all about life. You find out about Ripley and her daughter, and then she tries to become a surrogate mother to Newt. And then with the aliens, you see the aliens' life cycle for the most part, and you see more of their hive and all this, that, and the other. Alien 3 is all about death and moving on and forgiveness and sacrifice and all that stuff. Alien Resurrection, well, it's in the title. AVP and AVP 2, it's in the title. Aliens versus Predators, fair enough. Whereas Prometheus and Alien Covenant are about, I guess Prometheus is more about discovery and going out and trying to actually find something, and what you might find might be horrible. Whereas Covenant is about, this is the thing. What is Covenant about?
I think I have an answer, because I'll just say it in a line. Orm says, "What do you believe in, David?"
We're not worthy. We're not worthy.
He looks up at the ceiling, and then it's just beautiful execution of his acting. And then he looks down, creation, and then and like that's such a great moment too. Side note, because
do you know what? I'm going to agree with you on that.
All right, cheerio.
Because birth and creation are two different things.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
David's all about creation in that movie, man.
Yeah, and also artificial creation.
Yes.
More than actual real creation, like a birth. It's actually like about artificial creation. There we go. We found it.
You weren't meant to serve.
So will Awakening be about awakening? I
don't know what the hell Awakening. I don't know. Was Awakening really going to be a bridge from Prometheus to Covenant? And it's going to be a lot about the engineers. I don't know what the hell he could do.
I've heard that it's a prequel because Ridley Scott mentioned it in an interview. But then I've also heard rumors that it is actually a sequel.
I hope it's a sequel, because honestly, I say this in my
I think it kind of is. It's going to have to be, because we need to know David's story.
We need to. We can't just stop, man. The movie made enough money to make a sequel. This is like having
but also like with the negative backlash. Like most of the negative backlash is, we're not going to find out what's going to happen, and it's like, one, you don't really actually need to know what's going to happen next. The film does have an ending.
Yeah,
but two, they might have gone with a sequel because of that negative backlash. They might have gone, really, like, we're going to hold that prequel to your prequel. We'll go with a sequel. But the sequel you want to do to Covenant. So
I hope they make the sequel first before they make the prequel. Because honestly, for me, I love Alien so much. This is like if a Star Wars fan didn't have a Return of the Jedi. Because, like, for me, Covenant is like Empire. You end it on this note. You're like, damn, I need to see what happens next in 3 years. Or what? I love David's character so much. He's so complex. And you set up a wonderful sequel. And you know what the hell you could do with it. And it could be anything. And it could be awesome again. And you can't just... Perfect organism. How about that? That's a perfect line. I was like, oh, what a great way to thread that in there.
Well, have you heard people saying, like, they could very easily imagine that Ash is almost David?
What?
So, like, that David... So there's this rumor going around that Walter, at the end of the film, like, David revealing himself, like, to be not Walter at the end of Covenant. Mm-hmm. Like, a lot of people saying that actually Walter can heal himself. Mm-hmm. David cannot. Mm-hmm. David had a cross stabbed in his chin. His voice was smashed and fucked. He was like, reign in hell or serve in heaven or whatever he said. Yeah. And his voice is all like a noise that he has. And he's been stabbed several times in the chest, plus the time given to get changed. Some people reckon somehow David, when he said to Walter, serve in heaven or reign in hell, that was like almost a virus being downloaded, and Walter glitched in it, like he then understood.
Yeah, I don't know.
And he became David's more like a program, like an entity within the program. This is I don't agree with this. This is what people are speculating. But that said, so that sort of thing happened with Ash. So the data is passed on. So Ash is obsessed with the perfect organism because that idea of creation, and that is very potent to androids. It's like it corrupts them. I think it was. Oh, okay. So when I first saw it in the theater, I thought that it was Walter the whole time, but I thought it was Walter, testing who was the superior species, and then at the end, we won, so it'll be all right. But then as a twist, I was like, oh, it's David. Oh my God, that's so cool. But then I had a kind of a similar theory that maybe it was Walter's body, but then somehow David like implanted his like chip or something, like his his hard drive, if you will, and like a small little chip or something inside of Walter somehow. But, well, there's also the fact that he's stapling his cheek on the ship. So if it was Walter's body, then that wouldn't happen because he would have healed himself.
Ah.
So that gives away that it's David.
Now, is that assumption only because that his little like chipped milky thing on the side of his neck healed, or is there some other information?
Because he stabbed him in the neck with the flute, didn't he?
David stabbed Walter in the neck.
Yeah, that's why he stabs Walter in the neck, through the neck with the flute. It's like an ironic thing. He's like, he doesn't want to join David, so David kills him with creation, essentially.
I thought the only thing he did was just like take the. So he did some shit, but it went so fast that I didn't see it. I thought he just did some kind of thing with his neck.
I made a note to sort of focus in on that on my second viewing because I was confused the first time round. I was like, what did he do? Just punch him in the neck? What happened?
Yeah.
But you definitely see when he flicks it down, he's holding the flute in his hand, and there's like the blood all splattered on the floor. So I don't know if it's a chip, and I think in the viral video where you meet Walter, the chips are like. They fall into gloop under their skulls, and it's like they're permanently embedded in there. But that said, I wouldn't put it. It's one of those ambiguous things, isn't it? Where you're like, this is one thing that can drive a fan crazy to think about, or you can just go along with it and go, yeah, that's David at the end, but we just don't quite know how he did it.
Honestly, I don't think the voice thing bothers me too much because maybe I don't know if Shaw fixed up his voice because it was fucked up.
Oh no, it's not that. It's when Walter is smashing the rock on David's face.
Yeah.
David looks up at him and his voice is all messed up.
So I don't know, like his voice is the same exact thing at the end of Prometheus, but I don't know if it just self heals or just Shaw heals it.
Oh yeah,
it might self heal. I don't know.
But I think if it's self-healed, then they wouldn't have added in the line of Walter saying there's been a few upgrades since your time.
Well, yeah, that might have been just for like shit like that rather than the voice healing. It could be different types of upgrades.
See, this is one of those things that I agree it is like ambiguous and it is kind of annoying not to know, but at the same time I like not knowing because then you got to look at like the clues that are in the film, and that's what happened with Blade Runner, and it was like everyone loved doing that with Blade Runner with Deckard, but for some reason they're holding it against this film.
Yep, ain't that a bitch?
I don't know why. And they make a very the whole ending is the whole point is there's been a switch, so like they're obviously going to litter loads of little clues and throw things to throw you off. Like, what if it was Walter, but I don't know, maybe the cut on his face is a bit too deep. Maybe he needed to staple that cut because the two sides couldn't reach each other to self-heal, whereas the one on his neck could. The skin was all still touching, so it could, like, reform. There must be something in the viral video because they show how he gets created, so it's like there are clues somewhere. I guarantee it. Yeah. Anyway, on that note, I'm burnt out. It's late here.
All right.
It's been a good chat, man.
Absolutely.
I hope you enjoyed it. Is there anything else you want to add before we sign out?
I don't think so. I have a lot more to talk about my own videos, and hopefully, I don't know when I'll do it, but I'm going to do why I think Alien 3 is a masterpiece video, and hopefully I can record you saying some lines, and you can be a part of that. It won't be for at least like 6 to 8 months.
That's fine. That's fine. I'm going to be about then. So, yeah, man, that sounds banging. I'll be well up for that.
Absolutely. I need some backup.
Yeah. When do you expect your Alien Covenant Why Ridley Scott's a Genius video to drop?
I have that one and the David 8. Why I think David 8's fantastic. That's not the title, but the Blu-ray I think comes out in September-ish. So hopefully September-ish. I think it comes out in September at least. Prometheus I think is coming out in September. So I'm assuming Covenant's around the same time.
Prometheus is coming out? What is it coming out again?
4K, my friend. Yeah, I got it here. One second. I can find out. I'm definitely picking that up. It does not come with a 3D Blu-ray. It only comes with the Blu-ray. Because I remember I had the Blu-ray of Prometheus, and I had to get rid of that, and I had to get the 3D one of the Blu-ray because it came with that extra disc of that 3 hours of bonus features that I watched.
Yep.
It looks
Furious Gods or whatever it's called. That document.
Yeah, I think that's it. For some reason, I don't think Amazon is showing. It says Prometheus in September, but Blu-ray.com might have had it. I swear it said September. So I'm actually.
How much would you kill to see a Prometheus and Covenant cut like seamlessly?
I don't know. I don't know if I would because I like seeing them as separate movies. They're full lengths rather than smush them in one.
No. I mean, like you cut to the ship going off into space at the end of Prometheus, and then you cut to the Deacon being born, and then you cut to space, and it's the crossing.
Oh, so you want like a 4-hour cut of one movie?
So it goes from when it goes to the crossing. When he goes, I learnt their ways, and then you cut to the beginning of Covenant. Oh, actually, no, you put the intro of David meeting what's his face? Wayland for the first time. You put that at the beginning of Prometheus.
Yeah. Oh, dude, actually I had a great freaking idea. So you put that at the beginning, like you said, and then you have maybe you don't even have Shaw doing her sign off. Maybe you do. But I don't know, because you switch from that to the Deacon that ends at the Deacon and then the chop-in. But I feel like it'd be fucking amazing if it cuts off to them like flying away, and then it cuts to the voiceover.
Him arriving on the planet?
Yeah, just the voiceover of, look at my work, see mighty in despair. And then it shows up. Yeah. Oh my god, that'd be so epic.
Yeah, because you could then, like, by putting the David meeting Wayland scene from Covenant at the beginning of Prometheus, when the letters for Alien Covenant, the titles start to come up, it cuts to space, doesn't it? So you could very easily change the bottom text from Covenant to whatever title you want to put for the span edit. Yeah.
Man, this movie, I can't see. That's the thing about like these films that he's been doing for this and for Prometheus. They're very thought and like producing, invoking. It's film that I really appreciate. Tying back into the Transformers shit. Just like, you know what? I want more films like Prometheus and Covenant. I don't want more films like Transformers.
If I want films like Transformers, I watch Pacific Rim because, in my opinion, that did everything I wanted the Transformers films to do and did it well. And
Shit.
beautiful.
If I want to watch an action film, I mean, I'm watching a film we both like, Dread.
Oh,
I need to do a video on that one for sure.
hey, guess what? I have my one of my best friends just traveled around the entire world. He's come back, and I have gleaned from him in the last few days since he's been back that he's never seen Dread.
Oh?
And I know for a fact he would love it. So I'm at that rare opportunity where I'm about to show someone that for the first time.
Awesome.
And then just watch the film with them and just get their whole reaction. I know he's going to love it because he loves Carl Urban.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's a big fan of Lord of the Rings and he loves Carl Urban in that. So
he's probably going to love it. I mean, I remember I watched the trailer for that and I was like, no thanks. Because the trailer was bad. And then my friend's like, let's go see Dread. I was like, man, I don't want to see this shit. And I walked out of the theater saying, oh my God, that movie was perfect.
Watch it in black and white.
I know, man. That's how I first, like, we first followed each other on Twitter. You're like, I'm watching Dread in black and white. I'm like, ew. Why would you watch it in black and white? Like, you're like, it was amazing. I'm like,
right. Dude, it is. The color version. Go back to and watch. I'm not saying it's better. It's on equal footing.
Really?
Yeah.
See,
it's
man,
a different experience.
Did you see Logan and Logan Noir or no?
No, I still haven't seen Logan.
Because man, look, I watched Logan Noir. I'm like, I could see like all like the color correcting and stuff they did, like all the vignettes. And it's very dark, and I'm like, I like that. Like, I started put
up. It's because that they tried to make that film suitable for black and white. That kind of tells me that they tried a bit too hard to make it black and white. Whereas Dread wasn't designed to be in black and white. It just so happens when you put it in black and white, it's kick ass. It's one of those things. Like King Kong, I watched Peter Jackson's King Kong in black and white, and that was so much better than the color version.
I bet.
But it wasn't meant to be in black and white, I don't think. But it feels like it could have been. But there's no like black and white version. Whereas I always feel like if they try and make a film black and white that was color, just for the sake of it, you might not get that all the time. There's rare instances. You have to like sort of, I guess, almost understand the art of black and white.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I think I want to see Mad Max Fury Road, the black and chrome edition.
Yes.
For one reason, I want to see, because obviously in Fury Road, it's all massively colourful. But when they enter the storm, there's like lightning bolts that go off, and the film turns black and white for like a few frames every time the lightning goes off.
Really?
Goes to black and white. Yeah, and I'm really interested to see if in the black and white version, the lightning bolts are in colour. Because that'd be awesome to see that sort of.
That would be cool if it reversed.
But I just have a feeling they might look over that detail.
Yeah, they might not put it in color. They'll probably just keep it chromed up.
But anyway, all right, man. On that note, we finished this Alien podcast talking about Mad Max. On that note,
yes.
Thanks for coming on, man. It's always a pleasure.
Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, cheers for listening, guys. And just to remember to subscribe and let me know what you think about what we've discussed in the comments below. See you later, guys.